Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Thursday yesterday. Today is Friday, September 13th, 2024, and it is a day D. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can go ahead and take a seat. I'm so happy that you guys are here in school. Thank you so much. The fact that you guys show up really helps fulfill our mission. And I'm not just speaking about myself. I'm talking about your teachers and all of the grown-ups here at the school. Our mission is to make sure that we do our best in encouraging you to grow up, be smarter, embrace learning, be curious, all of those things that come with being in school. So we can't do any of that without you showing up, and you showed up. Thank you. I love that. Now, don't forget, we've got 3 expectations here at the school. You know what they are. Number 1, be respectful. Number 2, be responsible. And number 3, show that you are ready. And I have to say, I know you're doing that. And one of the ways I know you are doing that is because slowly and surely we are getting Beck cards. They're getting filled up. Some kids are even on their 3rd Beck card already. How awesome is that? You guys are dropping off your completed Beck cards, and I know that your teachers are giving you punches because you're doing things that you ought to be doing, and we love it, and we want to make sure that we recognize it, or that you've done something extraordinary that definitely needs to be recognized. And all of those fall under being respectful, being responsible, and show that you're ready. Not only are we excited about that as grown-ups, but I also hear you guys in the hallways talking about how excited you are, how close you are to filling up the Beck cards that you have, and that's really neat. Shout out to those 6th graders too, because I know that sometimes you're like, I'm not sure what I want to do with the Beck cards, and yet you guys are participating because it is one way to be great role models to get the younger kids to be involved and excited about that. Shout out to you 5th graders and 4th graders too, for the same reason. I love that we are all trying to do our best, to show our best, to be the most respectful version of ourselves, to be the most responsible version of ourselves, and to be the most ready version of ourselves. So thank you so much for doing that. Okay. A couple things, couple reminders. Don't forget that today is the last day for turning in your summer reading packet. Today is the last day, so make sure you turn that in if you haven't already done that. Teachers, if you get them, make sure there are names on those packets before you turn them into Mrs. Evans. The other part too is I want to remind you guys, and I mentioned this yesterday, as you guys, speaking of being respectful, speaking of being responsible, and speaking of being ready, I want you to continue to work on being ready as the best bus riders that you can be, especially if you're a bus rider. And once again, let's curb the popping up on the seats, especially on the bumpiest parts of your bus ride. There are other things that I encourage you guys to do. I'm not here to just tell you no. What I am asking you to do is be creative and think of other things that are more respectful and more responsible and show a greater level of readiness that you can do on the bus instead. Last but not least, and I meant to say this yesterday but completely forgot. That's my mistake, and we all make mistakes. I want to remind you that students, when you guys go to lunch, and especially if you're buying a lunch, make sure to bring your lunch cards, okay? The ladies in the cafeteria, the ladies in the kitchen are really working hard. Can you believe that in our cafeteria, we cycle through over 400 students in 2 hours? And a lot of you guys buy, but a lot of you guys also bring your lunch. But if you are buying your lunch, we want to get you in, get your food, and out as fast as possible. And one of the best ways and most efficient and the fastest ways to get you guys to get your food and back out into the cafeteria so you can sit down and eat is to bring your lunch cards. So students, teachers, make sure to bring your lunch cards. That will help our ladies in the front, in the lunch line a lot more. Also, speaking of lunch, 5th grade, I've already reached out to your teachers. Just know that you will be sitting at different tables. This actually has nothing to do with your behavior or anything. It's actually just so that by putting you guys in new tables, it actually helps us clean tables before you guys get there. So some of you guys may remember that yesterday and the last few days you might have had to wait there while the sixth graders were throwing out their food, and then had to wait a little bit more in order for our ladies to go wipe down the tables. This will hopefully avoid that. So I know that maybe you're getting used to your lunch tables. I apologize for shaking it up, but and this again has nothing to do with your behavior or anything. It just has everything to do with trying to make the lunchroom as run as smoothly as possible. So I do appreciate ahead of time your support with that and your cooperation. All right. So those are our announcements. Tomorrow is Saturday. We are going into the weekend. We have completed our first 5-day week, and I love that I get to do it with you. All right. Without further ado, you know I like to say this. I hope you guys spread this message. I love you. I care about you. I'm here to encourage you. Go spread that to others. You guys are doing such a great job showing that to me. It never gets old. And some of you guys are also beginning to say, I like you just the way you are. And I know it takes some time to practice that, but I love it. I love the energy you guys are putting into it. Find some creative ways to show what love looks like. Maybe it's writing out a card for somebody, or maybe it's just giving someone a pat on the back. Show care, right? Maybe it's just being a good listener. That's one way to show care. And last but not least, show that encouragement. Encourage your friends to be the best version of themselves, to be the best listeners, to be the most creative. You don't have to be the best. I want you to encourage other people to be their best as well. All right? All right. Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I like you just the way you are. Can't wait to see you guys around.